All rise. We'll have Pastor Hudson give us our invitation tonight.
Let's pray. Dear God, we come to you today. We thank you that you are King of Kings and Lord of Lords. We thank you for our freedoms that we have here in this nation. Thank you for the ability to have this meeting tonight. We pray if you would keep us safe, as we know our nation is really struggling in our state with the virus. If you would protect us and help us as we go about people's business. And again, we ask for your blessing. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. We'll have our newest elected councilman lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Faulkner, will you have a roll call, please?
Steve Arnott.
Here.
Mike Scipio.
Here.
Doug Fleshman.
Here.
Greg Hudson.
Here.
Greg Wolf.
Here.
Bonnie Thompson.
Present.
Jim Hughes.
Here.
Linda Bogus.
I'm here.
Quorum being present, I declare the November 16th, 2020 meeting of the Dunbar City Council in order. First item on the agenda will be the approval of the minutes of the November 2nd meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes of the November 2nd, 2020 council meeting as written.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Fleshman to approve the minutes of the November 2nd, 2020 council meeting as submitted, seconded by Councilman Hudson. Any comments, clarifications, or questions? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. The motion carries. Next item on the agenda is invoices for payment.
Mr. Chairman, in the finance meeting, we went over all these invoices and P-card receipts. And so out of that, I so move that we pay our invoices totaling $114,419.40.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Hudson to approve payment of invoices totaling $114,419.40, seconded by Councilman Scipio. Any comments, questions, clarifications? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is reading of ordinance 794.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve ordinance 794 adopted in 2020 changes to the state building code.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Scipio to approve the first reading of ordinance 794, adopting the 2020 changes to the state building code, seconded by Councilman Fleshman. Any comments, questions, or clarifications?
Mayor, just to be clear for any citizen is watching this, is simply putting us in line with the state adjustments from the last legislative session.
Okay, so to further clarify that, the state building codes and national building codes are adjusted on about a 2-year cycle. So what this does, as Councilman Hudson indicated, is bringing the city codes to be concurrent and in compliance with the state building codes, so that we can enforce the codes that are set by the states with our building ordinances. Any further comments or clarification? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, None, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval to purchase a new 2020 Ford Transit mid-roof van.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I'd like for us to approve the purchase of a new 2020 Ford Transit mid-roof van with a rear entry wheelchair lift, 800-pound capacity, at a cost not to exceed $58,789 from Thornhill Commercial Solutions.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Hughes to approve the purchase of a new 2020 Ford Transit mid-roof van with rear entry wheelchair lift with a capacity of 800 pounds at a cost not to exceed $58,789 from Thornhill Commercial Solutions. Seconded by Councilwoman Baldas. Any further comments, clarifications?
Mr. Chairman, for any citizen watching, just to explain the finances. That would be purchased, a cash purchase, not a lease, like some of the other vehicles. And we had budgeted $55,000 in the CDs already, so we'll be paying with that. And then the other $3,789 we'll need to transfer later from contingency, but it'll be a cash purchase, not a lease.
To further expand on that, the base van itself was $39,000 and change, and the add-on for the wheelchair lift was $19,000 and change, which brings it up. And the chassis of the van is under a state contract, so with the dealership selected. Any further questions, clarifications, or comments? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next is approval for tree trimming.
I make a motion to send to full council approval to trim limbs overhanging adjoining properties and remove the dead wood on the large walnut tree at 136 8th Street at the cost not to exceed $875 by American Tree.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilwoman Thompson to approve to trim the limbs overhanging adjoining property and remove dead wood on the large walnut tree at 136 8th Street at a cost not to exceed $875 by American Tree. Seconded by Councilman Wolf. Any questions, comments, or clarifications?
Just a clarification, it is a city-owned property. That's why we do it.
Very good. Any further comments, clarifications? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is annual employee appreciation.
I make a motion, Mr. Mayor, that we approve the annual employee appreciation hams and turkeys for December 2020. Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Fleshman to approve the annual employee appreciation for December 2020 for the purchase of hams and turkeys. It was seconded by Councilman Wolf. I'm sure there's going to be some comments and clarifications.
It's just a note that the state does not allow us to go beyond 25 per individual employee.
That's $25 maximum cost per, if you didn't get what he said clearly, $25 per employee maximum cost. Any further comments, clarification? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a retainer agreement with WVU Law Clinic.
Mayor, I would move that we approve to enter into a retainer agreement with the WVU Law Clinic to assist with planning and zoning ordinance in the amount of $2,500.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Arnott to approval to enter into a retainer agreement with WVU Law Clinic to assist with planning and zoning ordinances in the amount of $2,500, not to exceed $2,500. Seconded by Councilwoman Baldus. Any further comments or clarifications? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none, motion carries. To go back to that item, WVU's been working with us for probably 6 to 8 years on cleaning up our planning and zoning ordinances, and due to some restrictions on their program, they're limited on grant funding. So in the past, they've not charged us or asked for any reimbursement for their services. So I think this is a more than generous thing that they've done in the past. Well deserved. We get excellent look at statewide as to what's going on with the changes that they proposed. So thank you all. I think they will appreciate the support. Okay. Anything under old business? We will move on to officers and committees. Chief Moss.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Of course, we talked about the hiring in the Finance Committee. Most cars are still in the process of getting striped and equipment in it. They will be here by the Christmas parade at least. We'd like to lead the Christmas parade with it. We did a search warrant last Thursday over on Payne Avenue and recovered thousands of dollars worth of items, especially power tools, welders and all that. If anyone knows that someone was a victim of something, they can get a hold of us just in case they haven't reported it. Other than that, we're working on the hiring and the cars and just the day-to-day things.
Are there any guns?
No, ma'am.
Was that 1212 Payne Avenue?
No.
No.
Okay.
I'm not.
That's when we talked about you just moved in there.
It's in that block.
A couple weeks ago.
It's in that block.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been talking to you about it, especially just that day. But I don't know if you went over that day and seen what was going on.
Yeah, I did. I went over with Chad.
So that's going to clear up a lot of the cases we already had pending, and there'll be some items will be put our undone where they came from. So if you know someone, have them get a hold of us. With that, I'll take any questions from Ed. Thanks, sir.
Okay. To give everybody an update, if they didn't see the Finance Committee online, we're currently working through the list to try to come up with 4 officer candidates to go to the next available, the next academy class that is available to us, which may be in the spring. So
I picked up the background. I picked up the psychologicals and the physicals today, so that they are in for review.
yeah, I think I'm supposed to meet with you all tomorrow at 11 to go through that information. So we should have a list to present to council by the next council meeting for consideration. Next on the agenda is Chief Thornhill.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. We talked a little bit about the hiring, and I can't go much more into it because we're still in the beginning steps there. But we did have our test, and it was successful, and we do have a eligibility list. So that will move forward as quickly as we can. I'm gonna suffocate. I talked to you guys about the NIFRS reporting.
I don't know how much that fine's gonna be when the governor gets you.
You can't see me. I couldn't breathe. Less than my hospital bill, I heard. I couldn't about to pass out. NIFRS is back online now, and it came back this week, and we're programming in everything that didn't get done over the last 2 months. So I hope to be able to generate those numbers for you, Connie, as soon as we can. It's going to take, and there's still glitches in the system, and there's a lot going on with it. But we are working on it now, we're back in, which is really good news. The thermal cameras, I told you all about the training, we actually went through that this past week. Learned a lot, training, so those things are being mounted on the trucks, being put to use now, the thermal cameras you bought. The digital sign at 10th Street, a little bit to do with the fire department. There was a problem there, and they ended up warrantying out some communication radios. I have those, we received them today. I hope tomorrow to get that replaced and try to get that squared away and be able to update the sign a little easier, a little better. To get the 0 Fahrenheit off there, and that sort of thing that's going on. But anyway, they warrantied out parts, so it's no cost to the city as of yet. One thing I'll caution with the mask thing, the fire department is pretty well locked down now from public entry. If you want to come there, you can ring a doorbell, and we have a 911 call box right here. In case nobody's at the fire department, you can open the door and it'll call straight to 911 right out beside the front door. But we are limiting public entry into the fire department due to the alarming rate of rise in positive testing results and things, and our inability to monitor that door. And it's just easier to keep it closed and meet the public outside for us at this point. And I would encourage everyone to take that alarming rate of increase serious. We're looking at hospitalizations going up. And if you look at what we look at, we don't so much follow the county or the state map. We compare it with the Harvard map that shows less categories, but a different viewpoint. All of it is trending up, no matter which map you look at. So I encourage everybody, wash your hands, wear your mask, and take it serious. And I'll take any questions anyone has. That's all I have.
Mr. Burnside.
Mayor, I really don't have much tonight. I'd just like to say to all the council or anybody that's listening, all hunters be safe over Thanksgiving that are out hunting, and everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. And I'll take any questions anybody might have.
That was easy. Mr. Leishman.
Evening, Mayor, Council, YouTube. I will be one of the safety hunters out there in the woods next week. We poured concrete up at the baby pool the other day, filled it in to make ready for the playground that's going in. The roof is on the pool shelter, along with the station, looks real good. All the soffits in underneath, there's a little bit down the side that still needs to be put in. Gonna do the tree over on that property so we can get it sold. There's really not a whole lot. Start to slow down on construction because the weather's starting to turn and the holiday coming up. It's going to be closed next week anyway. But I'll take any questions.
Can we put out for bid the properties?
No, I have not yet.
Okay.
We're getting the
Hopefully
tree
they'll
done.
be soon.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get the tree done and we'll get all those.
Well, we can have the tree in the works. Let's go ahead and get the ad in the paper.
Well,
Be good.
I can look in the paper now.
I would literally, because nobody reads the newspaper. I would rather
Every morning.
No, but we have
Except for
to put it in
Monday.
the newspaper legally.
put it in the paper, but also put signs on the property that is available for auction and how to do the auction. That way, when people drive by looking, they can say, oh, there's a big profit. So.
I personally read the paper. But
We
I've
also need
seen
to put it
it,
on
so maybe I
Facebook.
thought I missed it.
Yeah, we can put it on the city website or city Facebook website.
As long as it's in the
The more we get it out there, the better off.
We'll have three of them. Oh, the asbestos abatement crew is gonna be up on March Road doing that on between the 20th and the 23rd. Yes, and know for sure what that is, and we'll tear it down right after that. So, and that's when we'll do it in-house. Get the other two knocked down, start over next. Yes, sir.
Could you look into, I got a call on Sunday about the meth house up on Taylor Road, Red one.
Right.
There was people up there in a real fancy car, a bunch of nice looking, they said that they had bought that property. Have you heard anything about
The
that?
property has been bought by a guy in California. I talked to the guy, his son-in-law, because he bought one of the landlords land here. He bought all his property one lump sum. And the son-in-law came in painting and cleaning up properties to get them available rent, and was asking about that property on Taylor Road. And I told him the best course of action for that one was for them to tear it down. It's a meth lab, or was a meth lab. I don't know that it's completely been certified as clean, but even if they are certified clean, whoever lives in it, you have to notify them that there was a meth lab in it. So that potentially limits it to nobody living in it. So I think their best course of action is bulldoze.
They pulled the board off and looked in it and stuff, and they told all the neighbors they were gonna, fix it all back up again, and everybody kind of getting worried because they knew it was supposed to be tore down.
That's well, they gotta get a permit from me first, so.
Okay, so we're covered, that's not gonna be built in.
No. Till somebody gives me some paperwork that says it's completely 100% meth free.
Is there any chance of in the next future tearing that one down, the other one to the side or 2 doors down from it?
The other one's about 6 doors down from it, and the county was actually supposed to do that one and not the one they did. They both needed to go, but, and I don't know if that county program's gonna come back up again or not.
The barn behind it's about ready to bite the dust anyway, so.
What is?
The shed down over the hill, there on the backside, it's about ready to fall down anyway.
I would like to get rid of the meth lab, but I don't really see where we need to spend that much money on their problem. And I don't even know how it's sold at auction because the federal government's the one that auctioned it. And they had to know it was meth lab.
If you look into it, it'd be greatly
I'll see
appreciated.
what I can find
They're just
out.
wanting to know up there, they're all kind of worried.
I won't give a permit for it. Like I said, unless somebody comes in and certifies it was 100% clean.
461 19th Street. That's the house that the people were evicted from by the mortgage company, and the back house was deplorable condition. You told the people that bought it, they had to fix up that back house with your direction.
Correct.
Before they could rent it or anything. They have fixed up the front house and rented it out. They put new windows and everything in their back house. Have they contacted you about?
I've spoken to them about the front house.
Yeah.
Not about, I told them on the back house, we have to do a walkthrough so I can show them everything that has to be repaired.
Okay.
So,
Well,
no,
they painted a lot of stuff over and put new windows in, a new back door on it, so I didn't know if they'd been in contact with you or not.
that's putting makeup on a pig.
That's why I was wondering if they'd done anything to the inside of it, because I think they're getting ready to try to rent it. So I don't know what they've done.
I don't even think.
And it's hard to catch them there. They're only here every now and then.
I've got the guy's phone number.
Okay, if you would check into that, please.
Yes, I will, because I told him before he drove personnel over there, we had to do a
I
walk.
remember, I was just checking, make sure, thank you.
Anybody else?
Be safe, you, don't,
Play it what?
and hunting,
Yeah.
and try not to catch one.
I don't plan on catching one.
I know, we won't talk
I'm like
about
glass.
it.
Go out
Be
there and
safe.
And don't let your horse run out from under you.
Okay, Public Works, Mr. Elliott.
Mayor, Council, I'm just gonna let you know real quick, the leaf truck went down about 2 weeks ago. They're having problems getting all the, parts for the leaf truck because of COVID. All the dealerships are shut down right now. So we went out and we took it off the leaf box off and put it in our big truck. We do not have one big truck right now because we've got the leaf truck in it and it started working this afternoon on sucking all the leaves. Other than that, we're just business as usual. I'll take anybody's questions.
Scott, what's the schedule for limbs right now? How does that work?
Limbs we're sending the crew out every day picking them up. It's probably gonna be better if somebody calls them in for me right now, because we are worried about the leaves right at the minute. They're all over the town, and people's calls for the last 2-3 weeks, and we've been down.
It's 5/16, 21st. I've called, the landowners called. It's went on for about 10 days now, so it's all in the alley waiting to be picked up, 5/16. And I told them I'd check again tonight since it's been a while.
I will have them get first thing in the morning.
Thank you.
Also, Scott, please, on 18th Street, thank you, city, for having those stumps ground out. Well, yeah, but I think they brought everything down to one stump, because the rest of them look leveled off. When you get a chance, because like I said, I know you're shorthanded, can you go pick up all that stuff?
No, I have a contractor do it. He
Okay,
was giving the sawdust to people who were putting it in their yard,
yeah,
and he said when they were done, to let him know, and he would come down and get the rest.
okay, because they cleaned off all of it, looked like they're all up to.
This contractor is doing this one.
Okay, thank you.
And Scott, thank you for picking up the debris from our next door house, where the kids ran cleaning out their mother and dad's house. We have a lot of two-legged scavengers up in there, and they're not real neat when they put it by.
The other thing I wanted to let you all know, Westmoreland project will be starting tomorrow. We're gonna be digging out the road there and, hopefully get the concrete back in by this weekend. Of course, it was shut down for about 5 to 7 days, so that's good.
But don't sit down yet. We're gonna put the fire chief on the hot seat. Can we have where we dispose of all of our limbs and trees and stuff like that out on Dutch Hall, we have oversaturated the area out there. So we've been using the lower parking lot up at the swimming pool. Can we do a controlled burn of that material up there this time of year?
At the swimming pool or at the Dutch Hall? What will do on
No, the swimming pool area.
Yeah, as long as it has a clearing around it, it's after 5 p.m.
When's the fire season changed to where I can burn during the day?
Well, just assign somebody to be burning up there at night.
Okay.
It's easier to watch at night than it is in daytime.
You're talking in the spring before.
Okay.
Right now, you're in the worst time in the world right now with the leaves down and all that. But as long as it's cleared and monitored, somebody's there with it the whole time it's on fire. It has to be out by 7 a.m.
No, we'll move it over to the.
In between the.
And just let the guys down there, call the fire department, and let whoever shift commander is know what days you're doing it. And we can do that.
We can maybe announce it. City bonfire next.
There'll be people up there roasting hot dogs and marshmallows.
That's the first thing I thought.
Okay,
S'mores.
Mr. Jones.
Mayor, of course, you know, we got the Christmas parade coming up on December 4th. Hopefully, Big Jim won't shut us down on it. We talked about in the Parks and Rec meeting the other day about, because we don't know if the trolley's going to be able to come or not. So we talked about, the mayor and Jim and I discussed about getting on magnetic signs to put on whatever car you want to drive. So I've got those kind of settings already done. I just need to know if you want them or not. So I mean, it just says, Council Ward 1, Steve Arnott. It says everyone down through there, just, cause I know,
Some bikes they want too, right?
well, yeah, Mike's got one, there's two of them, one for each side of the car.
I guess make it simpler, but
Your neighbor wants that bike's on
the question is, rather than everybody try to pile up in the trolley or, if we can't get the trolley, the buses, I think it's kind of silly to put a couple people in a bus, but each one of you would drive your own car and you'd have the signs on the door saying, you know, Councilman so-and-so, which award, and I think that would be pretty good. Might stretch the parade out a little bit, not knowing how many people are gonna be out there this year. Just a thought, so if you wanna do it, you need to let Bub know so he can get the signs ordered, because it ain't very long.
No.
2 weeks.
Also, don't forget about the home decorating contest, goes from November 27th to December 17th. We finally got our phones back up and going at the rec center. It's been 3 weeks. It's where they cut down here at 20th Street. The gas company cut through the 900 phone lines. They just got everything back up and going today. So now the fire alarm ain't beeping like crazy. Friday, you know that Jim Justice cut off all winter sports to January sometime. And our Dunbar BD basketball just started last week, so we had to shut them down. But before we shut them down, I got to use the COVID machine for the first time. It took me 2 hours.
Hour and a half in your official report.
Well, I said hour 50. And it took about 2 gallons of the solution. Yeah. I mean, that's the first time doing it. You're trying to make sure what the girl told us that day, to make sure you get it saturated. It'll be time to work all the kinks out of it and all, but I did the whole gym up as high as I can go, doors, handles, anything that they can touch, the bleachers. Then I went into the hallway, did all the hallway doors, bathrooms, everything in the bathroom, the front doors, anything that somebody touched in there, even went outside the rec center and then front doors and sprayed all that. So it was pretty neat to do. I wish I just had a bigger wand. And one is a little small. But yeah, that was our first try at it. So it's gonna take time to get all the kinks out of it where we ain't using much solution, but it'll work.
But you said in the meeting the other day, it'd probably take a couple hours, didn't you?
Yeah, I said it'd take about a couple hours.
Did the National Guard help you with it to get you going?
No, I did it myself.
Oh my gosh.
The National Guard is coming down.
We're gonna have them come down now that Bub's experienced with the machine, and get the guys all down there together and go through the mechanisms of how long to do it and how high to do it and so forth. So, I mean, that was just the first run to see.
Bub was probably trying to ride on it, that's why it took so long.
No, I had to go cut my hair though, because my hair bleached out a little bit. But no, I don't have anything else unless anybody else has anything.
Okay. We need to keep in mind that, if anybody has any apprehension about the Christmas parade, now's the time to throw it on the table. Are we all in, or?
Unless you know, right now, we only got like 7 or 8 people that's signed up so far. I don't know if it's because of COVID, but, you know, I'm still out pushing it. We got it on, I think I got it on the Facebook page. We got it on the city website. The only one right now I know that who has canceled is South Charleston, the only one we know of.
Why is that?
Charleston canceled it.
Bergen did. Everybody's canceled.
Really? I thought they did. I mean, we're actually the only one doing it.
Yeah.
St. Albans?
Are they doing it too? St. Albans?
Yeah, St. Albans is doing it. I talked with them.
Yeah, they're gonna use our sled, so.
It's a big decision because if y'all say we're not gonna do it, the beard's coming off.
Hey, I got you covered.
I know you do.
That's really all you need.
Okay. Anything else for the good of the order?
For you, for people that are watching, will you tell them what the situation is at Caldwell Drive right now? I've had a call about it, and I tried to explain to them, and I thought maybe there's other people that want to know about it too, since it is a state road, but
We have contacted, Scott's called them, Hughes called them, I've called them, Senator Jeffries has called them. They went up there and worked on it once, and it was a partial fix, but I think the whole culvert needs to be replaced underneath the road, or at least do half of it, and then go do the other half. But, no, we're still pushing it every chance we get to get some action on it, because it's kind of squirrely. And I think that culvert's, what, about 8 to 10 feet deep?
It's about 6 or 7 feet deep, but I think it's a 36 or 48 inch culvert. It's a good sized culvert. And that one side's, I wouldn't drive across it.
Well, it's 6 feet down to the top of it, then you got a 4
Well,
foot, so it
yeah.
makes it about 10 feet deep.
Yeah. State of the southern side of the road, up or down.
But I think Scott's got some steel plates down there. If the worst comes to worst, we can put over it. Maybe you might go ahead and do that in the next couple of days to keep some of the banging off of it until the highway department reacts to it. I will
State's the
call.
one that adopted that, wasn't it?
Yes, it's been in their system
That's
forever.
what I thought. They ought to be legally held responsible for all those patients up there.
They just tell you they don't have any more money than we do.
According to justice, they do. They have a big surplus.
Big surplus one.
I said, according to justice, they have more money than we do. They have a surplus.
But I'll call Travis Knighton again tomorrow morning and see what kind of answer I get from him.
Thank you.
Mr. Gray?
I just want to thank all of our department heads for the great job they've done this year. Really appreciate it. Everybody, thank you. Thank you, Mayor, for the job you've done the last 4 years.
I'm not done yet.
It's getting short-lived. You got 10 more council meetings.
I want to congratulate Jim Hughes on winning the lottery today with his,
Yeah, we're loaded now.
so he's back on Ward 4, so that's great.
Thank you.
And we wish everybody a blessed Thanksgiving.
Just remember, on November the 22nd is Carol Dunlap's birthday. So anyone that knows him, call him and wish him a happy birthday. He's a good man.
Just wanted to thank all the department heads. Everything's looking good around the city, and I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and good hunting, everybody good something. And once again, on Linda's thing, thanks for all the prayers and condolences about being on council. I look forward to another 40 years with everybody. It's been great so far.
Ms. Connie?
Just like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
I'll take a moment to congratulate everyone in the election and to all the incumbents that got back in. Congratulate you all, and to Jim, the one, like we said about the lottery, congratulations to Jim. And congratulations to Sharon Haynes and Bobby Yeager as new council members starting January. And congratulations to Scott Elliott for mayor-elect. So just want to congratulate everybody that worked hard and won during that election.
I'd like to also wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and.
Oh, and I'm sorry, Doug, I forgot the clerk also.
Oh,
I was naming everybody one, I forgot her, sorry.
a happy Thanksgiving and a blessed Thanksgiving, and please remember not to gather your families together in large gatherings to celebrate Thanksgiving, because it could end up being bad, and that's not good, and that's not what we need right now. I know people like to gather for Thanksgiving with their families, but just think about it real careful before it happens. And just thank everybody that keeps the city going every week and every month.
Like I had that tree at 13th and High Avenue, do we need trimmed down
I thought they went and trimmed.
13th and where?
Ohio?
Trimmed a lot of it down.
Still,
It's still on the way?
yeah, it still needs to come down.
They whittled on it some.
Yeah.
We went a little more.
Just want to, again, same thing, wish everybody happy Thanksgiving, congratulate everybody that won in the election. And one thing that Doug Fleshman mentioned to me this evening is Everett Sullivan is very gravely ill and maybe not long for this world, and please keep him in your prayers if you do.
Okay. As everyone else, I wish everybody out there a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and the best way you can take care of people is to wear your mask, do social distancing, and that'll take care of you, and it will take care of them. And be thinking about others before you go out into society, and I think everybody's starting to get to the serious compliant state right now, and as I keep telling in my reports to council, the citizens have been very respectful coming into the city hall without a mask. I think maybe we might have one incident a week or something where we ask somebody to put them on. If they don't have one, we provide them with a mask. So we make sure that they're taken care of, and it's kind of a shame about the COVID machine not being able to do the bitty basketball as we planned. That was going to be one of our things that we could really get the kids out involved in doing something again. But, Scott and Bub are working on getting the National Guard to come down and train them more, how to be more proficient in using the machine. And I don't think it has to be a soak and saturation. I think when she was saying saturate, it wasn't to the point of dripping. It was just to be 12 inches away and just brush it. Going down like you're painting butter. I know, but I mean, but there again, if we get the National Guard who's experienced with those in here, we'll be moving it up to, I guess, bringing it into City Hall to do the hallways and the high contact areas pretty regularly, and then the police cars, when they transport somebody, we can make it available, to come down and stick the diffuser in there and get it saturated. The same thing with the seniors, when they transport somebody, it'll be really nice once it's at the end of the day to be able to sanitize it and have it ready to go the next day. So I think we're going to get a tremendous amount of use out of it. And as the chief indicated, the numbers seem to be rising pretty rapidly. So anything we can do in a defense mode is, I think is going to be great. And there again, congratulations to my buddy Jim. I'm glad he held the course and chose the high ball.
We need to make some kind of log sheet when that machine is used.
Yes, you have to log where you used it.
Whoever, keep track of it for whoever does use it, or so we can turn that in with our
COVID reimbursement, because we get that time reimbursement for doing disinfection. So,
Is it being kept in a secured place?
In a vacant office down there.
Locked up?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, if there's no other city business, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Amen.
Connor.
Brady and Dearman. Yeah. We should have time to pay on which one.
Is that what you sent me a few minutes
No, she just sent this one.